Every January, gardeners across the country unknowingly destroy months of hard work in just a few weeks. Sam here from Seniors Gardening Advice, and today we're revealing the 5 biggest mistakes that are sabotaging your plants right now. Mistakes so common that you've probably made at least 3 of them already. Here's the thing. While you think you're helping your garden, you're actually triggering a series of biological disasters that won't show up until spring. The damage has already been done by then, and there's nothing left to fix. But here's the good news. Once you understand the science behind what's happening underground, everything changes. Your perennials have built-in survival systems that are far more powerful than anything you could do by force. All you need to do is stop fighting against nature and start working with it. If this information could save your entire garden from disaster, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share this video with anyone who cares about their plants. Drop a comment below and let us know which mistake surprised you the most. Now let's dig into what's actually happening beneath the soil surface. The foundation. Why January is different. Before we break down each mistake, it's critical to understand what your plants are actually doing right now. When temperatures drop, your perennials enter what's called deep dormancy. This isn't laziness, this is sophisticated biological engineering. During dormancy, your plants are redirecting all their energy inward. They're building chemical barriers, strengthening their root systems, and storing emergency reserves of starches and sugars that will fuel next season's growth. This process requires zero interference from you. In fact, any interruption, no matter how well-intentioned, can trigger a chain reaction that undermines everything the plant has been working toward. Your job in January isn't to improve your garden. Your job is to protect it from harm. Understanding this distinction transforms everything about how you approach winter maintenance.
Mistake number 1. Cutting back dead foliage too early. The tradition is deeply ingrained in gardening culture. As soon as the frost arrives, we rush outside with our pruners and create that perfectly clean, tidy landscape. But here's what's actually happening when you remove dead stems and dried leaves in January. Those brown, seemingly useless plant parts are performing a critical job. They function as a thermal barrier, a living version of insulation that protects the plant's crown from the most extreme cold. Think of them as a natural sweater that the plant wears to survive winter. When you cut away this protective layer, you're exposing the dormant buds at the plant's base to direct contact with freezing air. This exposure creates something called freeze-thaw cycles. The ground temperatures fluctuate between freezing and slightly warmer throughout January. Each time this happens, ice crystals form inside the plant cells. This process is called cellular crystallization, and it literally damages the internal structure of the plant. The result? Crown rot, terminal root damage, or a spring emergence so weak that the plant takes months to recover, if it recovers at all. The solution is counterintuitive, but backed by plant physiology. Leave those dead stems and brown leaves exactly where they are. Don't touch them until you see new green growth starting to emerge in late spring. This strategy is called structural mulching, and it works because dead plant material traps air around the base of the plant. This creates a localized greenhouse effect, a tiny warm zone that keeps soil temperatures stable even when the outside air drops dangerously low. Those standing stems also provide something else valuable, shelter for beneficial insects. Predatory insects like ground beetles and lacewings overwinter in these protected spaces. When warm weather arrives, they emerge hungry and ready to hunt garden pests before pests can damage your new growth. By leaving the dead foliage intact, you're building a natural pest control system that's free and already present in your garden. The plant itself also benefits from recycling its own dead tissue. Those dried stems and leaves break down slowly throughout winter and early spring. The nutrients return to the soil. The plant reabsorbs them through its root system. By spring, your perennials have access to a complete nutrient profile without you needing to add anything. This is why the cleanest gardens in January often become the most struggling gardens in April. Don't be fooled by neatness. Nature's messiness is actually nature's engineering.
Mistake number 2. Feeding your plants during dormancy. Winter fertilization is one of the most destructive mistakes because it works against your plant's entire biological programming. When you add nutrient-rich fertilizers or heavy compost in January, you're sending a powerful chemical message to the plant's root system. That message says, "Wake up, it's time to grow." But it's not, and the plant knows this. What happens next is a tragedy of mixed signals. The fertilizer, especially anything high in nitrogen, triggers a partial awakening in the plant's dormancy. The plant begins pushing out new, tender growth buds, even though the surrounding environment is still frozen solid. This is where the damage becomes irreversible. The vascular system, the plumbing inside your plant that transports water and nutrients, isn't prepared for active transport when temperatures are sub-zero. The soft, green tissue that was just stimulated to grow becomes frozen. The cells inside the plant cells crystallize. The cells rupture from the pressure of expansion as water turns to ice. Meanwhile, the plant has broken into its stored reserves of energy. It's using up the starches and sugars it spent all autumn building. By the time spring actually arrives, the plant is depleted. It has no energy for the growth season that's just beginning. The root system becomes vulnerable to something called terminal exhaustion. The roots simply can't keep up with the demands being placed on them. Disease moves in. The plant either dies outright or becomes so weakened that it never fully recovers. The correct approach requires patience and discipline. Stop feeding your plants entirely during dormancy. Instead, apply a top dressing of wood chips or bark mulch if the ground isn't frozen solid. This isn't about nutrition, it's about passive thermal protection. The mulch adds another insulating layer that keeps soil temperature stable and prevents the ground from heaving, that process where frozen soil expands and pushes plant roots up and out of the earth. By maintaining low nutrient levels and high insulation, you're honoring the plant's biological clock. The plant stays dormant until the soil itself warms up. Once the soil temperature rises, which is the true signal for growing season, the plant wakes up naturally and begins its growth cycle with a full energy reserve. This patience investment pays enormous dividends. Your plants will explode with growth in spring because they've been waiting to put all their stored energy toward one purpose: vertical expansion and reproduction.
Mistake number 3, walking on frozen garden beds. This mistake is rarely discussed, but the physics behind it explains mysterious problems that gardeners struggle with all spring and summer. When you walk across frozen soil to perform winter inspections or maintenance, something specific happens at the soil level. Frozen soil is brittle. It's not like walking on packed dirt. Frozen soil is crystalline. It's broken into microscopic structures with tiny air pockets trapped throughout. These air pockets are essential. They create what's called macropores, highways that allow water, oxygen, and beneficial microorganisms to move through the soil. When a human body's weight lands on frozen soil, the pressure doesn't compact it gradually like warm soil would. Instead, the soil shatters. The delicate air channels collapse completely. The structural integrity of the soil's architecture is destroyed in that single footprint. When spring arrives and the ground thaws, those collapsed zones have transformed into something different. They become compacted, dense patches that water cannot penetrate. Gardeners often describe these areas as feeling like concrete. The soil is impenetrable, waterlogged, and suffocating to any root system trying to grow through it. Plants growing in these oxygen-depleted zones develop root rot. They grow slowly and weakly throughout the season. Gardeners can't understand why certain areas of the garden underperform while other areas thrive. Usually the answer is footprint compaction from January. The solution is simple, but requires discipline. If you absolutely must enter your garden beds during winter, use stepping stones or temporary wooden planks. These distribute your body weight across a larger surface area, diffusing the pressure so completely that the soil structure remains intact. The force of your steps spreads out instead of concentrating on a single point. Better still, adopt a zero-impact zone policy throughout January. Observe your plants from established permanent paths around the perimeter of the garden. Look at your beds from a distance. Resist the urge to get close and check on things. The plants will be fine.
What they need is space. When you keep foot traffic off frozen beds, the soil undergoes its natural heave and settle cycle without external compaction. The freeze-thaw process that happens naturally actually works in your favor. It creates space, it aerates, it refreshes the soil's oxygen levels. By staying off the beds now, you're preserving what gardeners call the underground highway system. This is the network of air channels and pore spaces that will transport critical nutrients and water to your plants the moment spring thaw begins. Think of January as a time for visual observation only. You're the guardian of your garden, not an active participant.
Mistake number 4, removing snow from perennial beds. Heavy snow weighs down plants. It looks like a threat, so we shovel, we brush, we clear it away to protect our perennials. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what snow actually does. Snow isn't a threat. Snow is the most sophisticated thermal insulation system available in nature. It has an incredibly low density. It's mostly air, with water crystals creating a framework. That structure traps air pockets throughout the entire snowpack. Air is an excellent insulator. This is why igloos kept people warm, and why snow-buried plants survive some of the harshest winters imaginable. When you remove snow, you're stripping away the garden's most effective natural blanket. The soil, which was protected and maintaining a stable temperature just below freezing, suddenly becomes exposed to black frost and extreme temperature swings. This exposure triggers freeze-thaw cycles at an accelerated rate. The ground temperature fluctuates wildly, freezes hard, thaws slightly, freezes again. This physical cycling literally pulls plants out of the ground through a process called frost heaving. The soil expands and contracts, and plants, especially recently planted perennials with shallow roots, get heaved upward. Their roots, which were snugly tucked below the soil surface, end up exposed to winter wind and drying cold. Even perennials that don't completely heave out of the ground suffer serious damage. The violent temperature fluctuations stress every cell in the plant. The root system, which was in suspended animation, gets triggered to wake up, try to grow, then gets shocked back into dormancy. This cycle repeats throughout the winter months, exhausting the plant's reserves. The correct strategy requires letting go of the urge to control and clean. Treat snow as a biological insulation layer, not a problem to solve. Leave it exactly where it falls. Better yet, gently shovel extra clean snow from pathways onto your perennial beds, building up an even thicker protective blanket. This accumulated insulation strategy creates a remarkable microclimate. The air trapped between snow crystals maintains a consistent temperature right around 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius at the soil surface. This happens regardless of how much colder the air temperature drops above the snow. The snow essentially locks the ground temperature into a stable, safe range that allows plants to remain dormant without stress. As winter progresses and spring approaches, the snowpack gradually melts. This slow melting process provides something equally valuable, a slow-release hydration source for the root system. The water from melting snow seeps into the soil gradually. It's cold enough that it doesn't trigger growth, but it keeps the root zone primed and ready. There's no risk of waterlogging because the melting is slow and the excess drains naturally into deeper soil layers. By letting the snow sit, you're harnessing something far more powerful than any product you could buy or any technique you could apply. You're letting nature provide the most sophisticated temperature regulation system available for gardens. Mistake number 5, watering in the late afternoon during thaws. Of all the winter mistakes, this one causes the most direct and immediate damage. It happens during January thaws, those brief warm periods that occur even in the coldest climates, when many gardeners panic about dry soil and decide their plants need water. The mistake is in the timing. Applying water in the late afternoon during winter is a recipe for disaster. Here's why. The water you add doesn't have enough time to be absorbed by the soil or to drain away before temperatures plummet when the sun sets.
Instead, the moisture sits pooled around the crown of the plant and the base of the stems. As air temperature drops and night falls, that water transitions into something completely different: ice. This creates what's called the ice jacketing effect. A solid block of ice forms around the plant's exterior tissues. This ice is expanding frozen water, and it exerts enormous physical pressure against everything it's in contact with. The pressure literally crushes dormant buds, damages bark, and causes cellular ice damage throughout the plant's tissues. Gardeners sometimes discover in spring that the buds they were trying to save throughout winter have been crushed or shattered by internal ice formation. The plant looks fine on the surface, but the buds are dead. New growth never emerges from those damaged points. The solution again requires timing and patience. If you determine that soil is genuinely bone dry during a January thaw, which is rare because dormant plants use virtually no water, perform watering only in the early morning. Choose a day when weather forecasts predict temperatures will stay above freezing for several hours after you water. Early morning watering allows the soil to act as a thermal sponge. The moisture soaks in and distributes through the soil profile. Excess water drains deep into the subsoil before evening temperatures drop. The plant's root zone becomes hydrated without any standing water sitting on the surface where it could freeze. By timing your intervention with the sun's peak heat, you provide necessary moisture for root health while ensuring the plant's exterior remains dry and insulated by air. The plant's dormancy remains undisturbed. The vascular system is hydrated but not shocked. Everything happens in harmony with the plant's biological state. This precise timing is the final step in maintaining a zero-stress environment throughout the dormancy period.
The philosophy: protecting versus improving. January isn't the time for active gardening. It's the time for strategic observation and biological preservation. This shift in mindset is the key to everything discussed in this video. Your perennials don't need a gardener in January, they need a guardian, someone who understands the physics of survival and respects the plant's dormancy process. They need someone who recognizes that doing nothing is often the most sophisticated management strategy available. Understanding the difference between helping and harming is critical. Yes, your plants look dormant. Yes, they look like they could use attention and care, but the care they need right now is protection, not intervention. Leave them alone. Let the winter environment work in their favor. Trust the biological systems that have kept perennials alive for thousands of years. The payoff: spring emergence. By avoiding these 5 fatal mistakes, you're setting the stage for something remarkable in spring. Your perennials will return with maximum vigor because they've been allowed to complete their full dormancy cycle with zero stress. They'll have full energy reserves, they'll have strong root systems, they'll have undamaged buds ready to burst into growth. The gardens that explode with growth in spring are the gardens that were left alone in winter. This is the natural order of things. Master these simple shifts in your winter routine, and you'll ensure your garden isn't just surviving the cold, it's being primed for a record-breaking spring emergence. If this video helped you understand how to protect your garden, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future gardening advice. Like this video if you found it valuable. Leave a comment below sharing which mistake you've been making so we can discuss it together. Share this video with fellow gardeners who need to hear this message. Sam and the entire Seniors Gardening Advice team are here to help you grow a healthier, stronger garden. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.